Homesteading's awesome until it's not. Hey folks, welcome back to the Rocking C Homestead. My name's Lance. I want to welcome you to our channel. Hey, if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, there's a button right in there. Click that subscribe button. Make sure that you ring that bell so you get notified every time we put out a video. And like I was saying in the intro, sometimes homesteading's great, very rewarding. You know, you get to play with animals and you get some great produce or some great products. However, there are times when it's super tough, super rough, and a lot of content creators, even us, we don't really show that to you too much. But there are some times it's a real struggle to push through and to even want to continue. Because there's times, especially this last week for us, it makes us question, is this what we want to be doing right now? Because it's been rough this last week. Have you ever heard the saying that trouble happens in threes? Well, it definitely happened in threes for us this week. So the first issue that we ran into is this little baby right here. This is one of our favorite chickens. We don't have favorites, but she's our favorite. She started having a little bit of a cough, kind of a wheezing sound when she breathed, shaking her head a lot. So we thought maybe she was coming down with pneumonia or something like that. So we took her inside, we treated her, and she seems to be doing really, really good now. Last couple days, haven't heard any of those other issues. Other than maybe she's getting a little broody right now. But we did use some LA200. We gave her a shot of that. And we used some VetRx underneath her, like on her comb and all, or not her comb, but her wattles and all this stuff down here, just to kind of ease up some of that breathing. And she seems to be pulling through really, really good. But it's just one of those things that's very stressful when you have a sick animal, and because you never know if that's something that's going to rampage through the entire flock or it's just one single bird. But she's doing good. Yeah, sweet baby. You're a sweet girl. So thank goodness we were able to treat her here on the homestead. We've learned over the last 3 or 4 years kind of how to treat minor things. Like for her, it's like a respiratory issue. We've had those before. And we have a very good mentor, Kara. And she's kind of trained us a little bit on how to give those shots, how much to give. We're not vets, so we're not going to tell you exactly how to treat your animals, but that's what we did with ours. Now, however, there are times when you do have to go to a veterinarian, and we've had to go to the veterinarian twice this week with some of our animals. All right, so we came back inside. We're in our triage room. So this is a spare room we have in the house. As you can tell, this is where we store some of our canning supplies, and this is triage for our chickens mainly. We've had a couple goats in here, but they've been little babies at the point. But our first person or first animal that went to the vet this week was Judge Judy. So Judge Judy had, I guess it was on Saturday. And of course it happens when I'm out of town, but I was out of town on Saturday, and Marcy, texted me saying, "Hey, Judge Judy's kind of waddling, kind of like a duck walk when she was walking around." Same thing happened to her mother a year or so ago, and we did all kinds of treatment at home remedies, all those kind of things, and we never could heal her, and eventually she died. So when she started doing it, it kind of freaked us out a little bit, and we're like, okay, we're just going to take her to the vet, see what's going on. But took her to the vet. The vet seemed like she was doing okay. That duck waddle could be like a lodged egg in the chute. I can't think of the right term they use for that. So it could be a calcium deficiency or something like that. So they gave her a couple shots of, I would say steroids, but some kind of anti-inflammatory, those kind of things to help her out with that. She's laid a couple eggs in here for us. So it's time for her to go back outside and rejoin the coop. She's doing good. And I'm sure she's pretty bored here in our little triage area. But I'm telling you, a big tub like this and just a little topper here that you can let air and light through. Yeah, you can see her and you can see if she needs food or water. Super easy and it doesn't take up its room. Easy to come out and clean it. It works great for us. So let's grab her, take her back outside. I'm sure she'll really appreciate that. So our second vet visit this week is for Maisie, one of our mother goats here. So on Wednesday I came out, I was going to milk, and Marcy was at church Wednesday night. I'm by myself here on the homestead, and I couldn't find Maisie after I milked the other two. She just wasn't around, and that's unlike her. So I had to go search for her, and I found her laying in one of the goat stalls. She would not get up, and it kind of freaked me out a little bit. So I finally got her up, got her to eat, milked her out, and then she went back and laid down. So later that night, I talked to Marcy about it. Whenever she got home, we came back out, checked on her. She's kind of doing the same thing. We did a few tests. We did like a temperature check. Her temperature seemed fine. We did what they call a FOMACHA test. So it's like an anemia kind of test. You can look in their eyelids or in their gums, and the amount of redness, the more red the better. Hers was kind of right there in the middle of the road, so we're like, well, it could be that. So if you have an anemia issue, it's usually because they have worms or something like that, which is pretty common with these kind of animals or livestock. So we just kind of thought, it's better to take her to the vet, see what's going on. We're not 100% sure. So on Thursday, I called around, finally got a vet visit after I got off work, took her up to the vet. They ran a battery of tests on her. They did a fecal, they did blood, they did all kinds. 2 or 3 vets checked her out. And we weren't really for sure exactly what was on or what was wrong with her. So we kind of did a couple kind of broad spectrum kind of treatments for a couple things. And since then, she's been doing really good. However, this is when it comes fun being a homesteader. We've had to come out here and give her at least 1 shot every 6 hours. So at 5 a.m., 11 a.m., 5 p.m., and 11 p.m., we've had to come out here and give her a shot. And then at that 5 p.m. time, we have to give her 2 shots. So she is not we're not her biggest fans right now, because we've been chasing her down and shooting her up with some stuff. But she seems to be doing really good, and hopefully after tomorrow, we won't have to give her any more shots. But when you're up later than normal and you're having to wake up earlier than normal and get shots prepared, come out here, chase a goat down, catch her, wrangle her, inject her with different medications, it's just one of those things. And then you have to do your normal day. You still have to feed, you still have to water, you still have to go to work, whatever you may be doing. That's just added on top of that. That's when you start questioning, is this really what I want to be doing with my life? So with all that being said, I know that we are super grateful that we have a couple vets in our areas that will actually see our goats and our chicken. That's not always the case. So a chicken vet is very specialized. Most big animal vets won't see chickens. Most vets that you go take your dogs and cats to won't see goats or chickens. So you have to get like an exotic pet vet, and they will normally see chickens. So we have one in our area about 25 miles away from us that way, and but we can bring them in. We've brought a couple of our chickens in, and oh, okay, buddy, sorry. So at least we have one of those, and and building that rapport with your vet. Oh, hey, buddy. Building a relationship with your vet is super critical if you're going to be a homesteader, especially if you have goats or chickens. It is chicken. you know, I'm not going to spend a ton of money on treating a chicken. I'm just not, because it just, you know, just doesn't make sense. Now goats, especially if they're breeding goats, they're registered, they're milking goats, those kind of things, those livestock are a little bit more expensive, and so you may want to spend a little bit more money on treating your animal there. So, but one of the things for us is we have one vet that will take a goat. Now, sometimes big animal vets that would do like cattle and those kind of things, they don't really know much about goats. So if you can find a good goat vet in your area, we have a pretty good one. And there's 2 or 3 people in his office, and they are super good with goats. They've actually came out here, did some stuff here. I'm sure you've seen them in one of our videos. They've drawn blood. They've done ultrasounds for our little mamas a couple years ago. And then, you know, over the years, we've built that relationship up to where now if we need something, if we need some sort of medication, or if once we, you know, like when we take our little baby goats to get dispudded or castrated. Oh, hey, buddy. You just want to get in that video, don't you? You know, seems to be a lot more willing to say, okay, here's some medication if you need to. Here's some doses. Here's some needles. You guys, you know, I feel comfortable with you guys giving shots and those kind of things. Now, we are not vet techs or anything like that as much as we'd like to be, just because it would be so much more helpful. But the one thing that we kind of stay clear of is drawing blood. We haven't quite got to that point, but giving shots to these guys, it's not too big a deal, is it? No. But getting that relationship with your vet is highly critical, I think, when it comes to homesteading. So again, I kind of come back to that question of, you know, when we talked earlier about what am I doing with my life here? Is this really what I want? And, you know, homesteading, like I said, is very rewarding. We have loved every minute of it for the most part. You know, we have a great garden. We love getting the harvest from that. We love getting the milk from our ladies. It's very disappointing when you have to throw out a whole bunch of milk because one's sick, and you kind of dump it when you mix it all in. And I think we had to get rid of 4.5 gallons of milk and some cheese and some yogurt we made. But we have to be safe, and we don't want to get anybody sick. So we're kind of milking her separately and keeping that separate. But, you know, it's one of those things where all these different, we get great benefits from being a homesteader. However, there are times where it is frustrating, and it is nerve-wracking and anxiety overwhelming. And it's just one of those things where, you know, you have to really think, is this something I'm willing to push through? So you got to deal with the ugly parts of homesteading as well. And it's one of those trade-offs. Is it really worth doing that versus all the other rewards we get? And so far for us, it still is a yes, we want to continue doing this. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there for you guys. If you guys are thinking about getting into homesteading, just think it's not going to be roses and fluffy bunnies and little baby chickens and little baby goats. And there's some hard work and a lot of sweat and tears and blood and all those other things that go along with it. It's not easy, but you can learn from us, and hopefully this kind of helps you guys out if you're deciding to do this or not. But guys, thanks for coming back, watching our videos. Hopefully this helped you. We really do appreciate all of you guys. So make sure you leave us some comments, give us some thumbs up. Hey, and again, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell so you get notified every time we put out a video. And from our homestead to yours, have a blessed day, and we'll catch you on the next video. Bye.